Hey, Rick, do you have time to talk real quick? I was just wondering if you knew anything about these toys in our house.
Toys? What are you talking about, Helen?
Well, I just mean that I was cleaning around the house, and I went into the closet in our room. And I found a bunch of action figures and clothes that a little boy would wear. Do you have any idea what these are? Because we don't have a son, just a daughter that likes to nap a lot.
Okay, first of all, you shouldn't be poking around other people's stuff. I mean, don't you care at all about privacy? What is the matter with you, you stupid woman?
Excuse me? I just told you that I was busy cleaning the house. That includes the room. You've got some nerve talking to me like that when I am working so hard to take care of our kids and keep the house clean. Especially after the way that you yelled at me about how dirty the house was. You literally told me that I should request time off work to clean.
Oh, just shut up already. All I'm telling you to do is not go rifling through my stuff without permission. When I say clean the house, that doesn't mean go through all my stuff as if it's yours.
You really mean to tell me that you wouldn't be mad if I cleaned all the house but your room? Besides, all I want to know is what these clothes and toys are and what they're doing here. Did you forget that we had a little girl or something like that?
Of course I didn't do anything like that at all. I just bought all those things for Nina. I just haven't had time to give her those, and that's all. And that's why I left them in the closet for now.
And so you're telling me that you get all these boys' clothes and toys for our daughter?
You really need to wake up. We're living in the 21st century. You can't just be putting all these expectations on children because of the gender. Don't you know that girls can like to play with action figures too? And boys' clothes are more neutral these days than anything else, so girls can wear them if they want.
Yeah, I guess you have a point there. But it still doesn't mean that all of this isn't very odd. And I guess more than anything, I had no idea that you were so progressive in that sense. Especially since I don't think you've ever bought Nina a piece of clothing or a toy before.
Well, I guess I'm full of surprises then, aren't I? But that's your fault for not thinking that I was capable of taking in new ideas or adapting to new times. Anyways, now that you know those are all for Nina, just leave them alone and don't touch them.
Helen, are you there? Just how long are you going to be staying out tonight, huh? I am really starting to hit the limits of my patience here. Come here and pick up your kid right now. Erica, what in the world are you talking about? And why are you texting me this late at night? Are you kidding me? Are you really telling me that you're that irresponsible that you don't even know I'm talking about your kid here? Just how long are you going to make me watch Nina for, huh? Can you please just hurry up and pick her up? I want to go to bed. I'm sorry, Erica, but I'm still really confused. I have no idea what you're talking about at all. I have no idea why you're even pretending to play dumb with this. Do you really expect me to hold on to her until morning? Because I am simply not going to go along with that. And just why do you think you can use me like a babysitting service this frequently anyways? Because I am getting sick of having to always be the one who watches over Nina. Erica, I really still have no clue what this is all about. What this is about is the fact that my house is not some free daycare service, okay? Now, just hurry up and come and get your kid from me. But Nina is here at home, sleeping, right next to me. What are you talking about? I mean that my daughter Nina is literally here right next to me, fast asleep. So I have no idea who I would be going to pick up if I went to your house, because I only have one daughter, and it's Nina. But then, wait, you're telling me that you only have a little girl? Yeah, that's right. Of course, Nina has male cousins like your son. But are you sure that you're not mistaking her for someone else? I remember you saying that so many relatives were having so many kids that it was getting difficult to keep track of them. But it was Rick that brought this kid to me. He brought them here and asked me to watch them. What do you mean Rick brought you this kid? Well, at first I tried telling him no, and that I'm really no good with kids. But he just wouldn't listen and did what he always does, leave them on my doorstep for me to watch anyway. And so, anyways, I've been taking care of this kid all day and all night. And now it's past midnight, and I want someone to come and pick him up. I see. But Rick had to leave for a business trip this morning. I even saw him off, and he was all dressed up for work. Wait, what? But I thought today was your anniversary. I thought that was why I was watching this kid in the first place. No, it's not our anniversary at all. That happened months ago. And we went out as a family to go eat somewhere together. But then, Hold on. I don't get it. Just whose kid is this that I've been taking care of then? Well, whatever is going on here, I can head to your place right now. Because apparently, Rick does have something to do with this. I'm going to wake up Nina to bring her too, so hold on for a second. Hey Rick, I'm really sorry to be calling you so late like this, but Nina said she really wanted to hear your voice. So that's why I was trying to call.
Oh, well, that's just a bit cute. I mean, I barely even left the house, but I don't think now is a good time for me to come to the phone. So if you could just please tell Nina that, and that I'll talk to her soon. That would be great.
But why can't you pick up the phone right now? I mean, I know you're on a business trip and all, but it's almost 2 a.m. I can't imagine that work is keeping you so busy that that's why you're still up, right?
Actually, one of the guys I came here with made some pretty big mistakes, so I'm in the room with him helping him fix this mess. I didn't actually go on this trip by myself, you know. They sent me with someone else from the office.
Oh, really? I didn't know that you had someone else there, but I feel like that's kind of odd for your company to send 2 people like that.
I guess that they wanted this to be a kind of learning opportunity for this other guy. But anyways, that's the reason why I can't talk on the phone right now, but I can send you the photos I've taken. Maybe you can show that to Nina to get her to quiet down for a while.
A picture, huh? Yeah, that could work. Why not send me a picture of you and your coworker together? I'm sure that Nina would love to see who you're there with.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, come on. It's already so late. Just do this now and I'm sure it'll be enough for Nina. Unless you can't because there isn't any coworker there, because you're just having a plain old affair right now. So go ahead and send me a photo of you and this other woman.
Wait, Helen, you got this all wrong. I mean, you don't really think that I'm out cheating on you, do you?
I don't think, Rick. I know for a fact. So don't even bother trying to lie to me about that. I already know all of what's going on here. And I know that you dropped off this woman's kid with your sister to watch over while you were gone. But you also told Erica that you were going to be away on a business trip.
Oh, shoot. Well, I guess there isn't really much use in trying to hide anything from you now, is there?
You know, I got a call from your sister asking me to go and pick up our kid from her house, but Nina was in the house with me. And when I did go to her house, there was some little boy there that I had never seen. Which means that those toys and clothes I found earlier had to be for this kid, am I right?
No. You really do have this all wrong. And this boy has nothing to do with those things you found in the closet earlier.
Okay then, why don't you go ahead and tell me the truth then? You said yourself that I found out everything, right?
Did I? That was just a typo. You know my fat thumbs with this tiny keyboard, right? The fact is that I'm not having an affair or anything like that with you.
But you just said that I found out the truth and that you were.
I know, but I was lying. I really am just away on a business trip. And the person I'm with is nothing but a coworker.
Okay, well then what about the boy that you asked Erica to watch for you? What do you have to say about him?
Right, that boy. Well, obviously he's my coworker's kid. And I had to ask Erica to watch him while we were away on a business trip.
Oh, really? Because Erica has told me that this isn't the first or even the second time she had to watch this little boy.
Well, that's because my coworker has a really hard time trying to find a good babysitting service. I mean, things are so expensive these days, you know? And so I just wanted to try and help out as someone who was supposed to be giving them this training.
So you're really going to try sticking to this coworker story of yours then? I guess I can just call your work first thing tomorrow and find out the truth myself.
Wait, what? Come on, you don't have to go and do that.
Well, I wouldn't, but there's just one thing that's not adding up. One of this little boy's backpack, one of his parents' contact information is written down. And it says that this little boy's mom is a woman named Delilah Brown. So are you still going to keep pretending that this is just some coworker's kid?
Okay, wait, please, just don't jump to any conclusions. And whatever you do, don't call my company. They have nothing to do with this.
Well, I could figure out that much by myself. But I really doubt that they would like to hear of the trouble you've caused all in the name of going on business trip for your company.
You wouldn't really report anything about this to them, would you?
I'm going to give you one last chance to tell the truth, Rick. Now tell me whose child this is. If you tell me right now, then I won't tell your company.
It's the son of the woman that I've been having an affair with. Dear, are you happy?
Now that we have that settled, I want you to come back here right away. You and I have a lot to talk about.
You mean you want me to go all the way back home right now? but it's the middle of the night. How am I supposed to do that?
I guess you had better hire an Uber or something, because I want you and this Delilah lady here right now.
I don't believe this. This can't be happening.
It is, and I know that you've been lying to me about this for a long, long time. But I never would have thought that you were cheating on me. And then to force your sister to watch this woman's kid while you two go away together? You really are just an idiot, do you know that? And this Delilah woman sounds like a real piece of work too. I mean, entrusting her child to some stranger so she can go fool around with you? It's awful.
Wait, no, you don't get it. The thing is that Erica's actually the kid's aunt.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Delilah's son is also my son.
I don't believe it. You mean to tell me that you've been hiding the secret child from me this whole time? And what about our daughter? What about our family?
Well, I mean, you know that I love you too, but this kind of just happened.
I don't even know what to say. I am beyond anger at this point. But you two need to get back here right now. We need to settle this once and for all.
Erica, come on. Open the door, please. I came back and you're still not going to let me back in the house?
Tell me, Rick, do you have any idea what time it is? I thought Helen told you to get back here first thing in the morning. Well, it is almost evening. Besides, if you're looking for Helen, she isn't here. Her and Nina are both not here, in fact.
But then, where are they? Why am I here?
You're here because you were always dumping your son on me to watch him. When I told Helen about what was going on, at least she offered to pay for all the free labor that you had gotten out of him. In fact, she told me exactly where you hid all the money that you thought nobody else knew about. And when I opened up your safe, I saw that you had $3,000 stashed away. So I took all that money as back payment for the child watching services I did for you.
You took all of my money? You've got to be kidding me. But fine, whatever. Can you at least tell me where my wife and kid are right now? Just let me in the house so we can talk about this.
I'm sorry, but you are not going to be getting in this house. I don't want to see your dirty, cheating face ever again, in fact. In fact, if I did let you in, I can tell you that I wouldn't be able to hold back from socking you right in the face. But if you really must know, your wife and kid are back at her parents' house where they are safe from you. She actually dropped by in the afternoon to see if you had come, but I told her that you still hadn't shown up. I think she did want to talk to you about all of this, but when she thought you were cowering out of it, she gave up and went back to her parents' house. And no, I don't think that she ever wants to talk to you ever again.
You've got this all wrong. I mean, I said the wrong things. And I tried to come back in time, but there was nothing leaving that would have let me arrive any sooner.
Why don't you just go and tell your wife all these excuses to her instead of me? Because I really don't care how you try and justify any of this to yourself.
So then, do you really think that if I go to her parents' house that Helen would talk to me?
Why on earth do you think I would have the answer to that question? And not that you've asked about your other child, but he's with our parents, so you can go and pick him up as well.
Wait a second. Does that mean that Mom and Dad know all about what's going on there?
And that's right, and they were not happy to learn what you had been up to, so it sounds to me like you've got a lot to deal with. Hey, I finished signing my portion of the divorce papers, so I'll be sending them to you to sign. And you should know that I'm going to be suing you and Delilah for your affair, not to mention the fact that you're going to have to pay child support.
Please, don't do this to me, Helen. You have to know this is all just one big mistake.
No, trust. I know just what a mistake being with you was now, but that's why we're getting a divorce. And once we're through with it, I'm going to block you on everything and never talk to you again.
Please, you have to reconsider. You can't do this to me. I mean, I don't want to lose you and Nina.
Why? What does it matter when you have a whole other family you can go home to? A whole other wife and kid even. I don't see why you need Nina and I around.
But you don't get it. Delilah's kid isn't actually mine. We're not connected by blood at all.
What are you talking about? The other day you told me that he was your son.
I know, but it was only after that that Delilah told me that it was a lie and that we weren't related at all. He's some other guy's son. So I was being lied to this whole time too.
You have got to be kidding me.
Well, the thing is that when you said you were going to leave me, I was sure that I had no other choice but to marry Delilah. But then she went and admitted that her son was never mine and that she also was lying to me about that.
So then you and that boy really aren't related at all?
If what Delilah says can be trusted, I guess not. But I already knew that she had some other men on the side, so I'm not all that surprised. Although I guess she lost contact with her father before she could make him take responsibility, so that's why she told me the kid was mine.
So then you tricked me and you were being tricked by her. But surely you must have had some sense that the kid wasn't your son, right?
What makes you say that?
Because you still call the child yours. It's clear that even if you two aren't related by blood, that you still feel like a father to this boy.
Well, that isn't my fault. She tricked me into being there for him. But the only real child of mine is Nina, so please don't take her away from me.
If you didn't want this to happen, then you should have never cheated on me in the first place. Now hurry up and sign the divorce papers, or else I'm never going to let you even have visiting rights with Nina.
You wouldn't really do that to me, would you?
Of course I would. Do you have any idea just how betrayed I feel right now? It's like my whole married life has been a lie because of the way you tricked me. But you didn't just trick me. You even lied to your sister and roped her into watching Delilah's son so that the two of you could go and carry on your affair. You ruined the trust you had with so many people who loved and cared about you. And for what? Well, I don't want to hear any more excuses from you. You are going to take responsibility for what you've done, divorce me, pay the alimony and child support, and that is that. Now, the next time you hear from me, it will be to discuss when our lawyers can meet. But until then, I don't want to hear, see, or even have to think about you. After that, Rick finally saw the light and agreed to divorce me without putting up any more of a fight. I was really worried that he was going to drag this process out. His parents, however, were so furious with him that they practically forced him to sign the papers. By the time it was all done, Rick was so ashamed that he just wanted to pay everything at once, so as to never deal with either of us again. I wasn't even sure when he would be able to visit with Nina in his state. But that meant that he had to pay alimony, the legal fees from the lawsuit, as well as child support in a lump sum that left him drowning in debt. Rick wasn't the only one being sued, however. I also sued Delilah for her affair with my husband. In court, she tried to talk to me mother to mother and explain that she wouldn't be able to afford such hefty fines and still be able to take care of her son. But I just told her that as a mother, it was her job to explain to her son why this was happening. She realized I was going to show no mercy and ended up paying the court's fine in full. I hear that Rick still goes to Delilah's house now and then and plays with her son. I don't know what's going on in his head at all, but I think this might be his way of trying to make up for all the lives he ruined with his foolishness.
Hey, Tammy, you there? I'm really sorry to have to do this over text, but I think we should cancel our wedding. I've fallen in love with your sister, and I want to marry her instead.
Wait, what? Rick, what in the world are you talking about? Are you serious about this?
Of course I am. I've never seen a more beautiful woman in all my life. I knew when I went over to your house to meet your parents that I had to make her mine. I mean, she was just so gorgeous. It really was love at first sight.
And what about the love that we've built between us after all this time? I know that my sister is a lovely, beautiful girl who is super popular and all, but you're not really going to leave me for her, are you?
I'm sorry, but I've already made up my mind, and I'm gonna marry your sister Tiffany instead. I think she's gonna make the perfect wife to brag about to my friends.
But I don't get it. So you really just want to call it all off just like that? Even after you've already met my family and everything, you're still going to leave me for my own sister?
I know that all this might come to a shock to you now, but you should know that she was the one that started coming on to me.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that after I got back from meeting your family, she started to text me. She told me that she wanted to marry me as well. Well, she begged me to leave you and choose her instead, and, well, obviously, I wasn't about to turn down such a lovely lady. Besides, the more I talked to her, the more I realized that she really is my type.
Hold on just a second here. You mean, she was the one who approached you?
That's right. I think it's most fair to say that we found each other, but whatever the case, the point is that we're going to be getting married. So I really just don't need you anymore. That's that.
I don't believe this is happening to me. To think that my own sister stole my fiancé from me. I mean, you literally only met my parents today. Are you telling me that you really decided all of this in less than a day?
Hey, you should just count yourself lucky that I bothered to say anything to you about it at all, really. So what if I marry your sister? She's beautiful, and I'm about to start my new position as a CFO for a huge company. I'm sure that your parents don't really care which of their daughters marries a rich guy like me, so I think it's perfect.
I don't even know what to say to that. You're just horrible, Rick.
Horrible or not, I'm gonna get away with this. After all, I'm my parents' only son, so they have to go along with whatever I want. And I'm sure if I tell them I found my true love, that they would never criticize me. Especially when they see just how much prettier your sister is than you.
That's not even what I'm talking about. How could you do this to someone else? Don't you realize how wrong this is? Do you really think that both our parents are going to go along with this?
Well, I just got a message from Tiffany telling me that your parents don't care. At all. If anything, they're happy that your sister and I are together since we make such a better looking couple.
How can this be happening? I don't even know what to think right now.
I know that your sister's excited to be marrying a handsome CFO like me, though. Sure, some people might talk behind our backs, but when they see just how good a couple Tiffany and I really are, everyone will realize why we had to be together. They'll realize that I could never have had a happy marriage with you, when your sister was right there this whole time.
That's a disgusting thing to say. I thought you cared about me.
I did until I didn't. Now I want to break up. I know that you thought I was going to be your free meal ticket, but you'll just have to find another guy to provide for you.
Hey, Tiffany, are you there? You better get back to me right now. I want to know why Rick just told me he was leaving me for you. Did you seriously flirt with my fiancé? I can't believe you would do this to me. Well, it isn't my fault that you brought back someone as handsome as Rick. You really can only blame yourself for all of this. Are you kidding me right now? Is this some kind of a game to you? Rick told me that he doesn't want to get married to me anymore. He told me that you changed his mind after he came over today. How could you do this to your own sister? How could you ruin my wedding like this? Well, you should know that Mom and Dad weren't angry about it at all. In fact, they told me they had always thought Rick and I would make a much better couple. But now I really have to hurry up and go find a dress and someone to do my makeup and all that kind of stuff. So you're really going to go through with all of this? Tammy, did you really think a guy like Rick wanted to marry you? Come on, you have beady little eyes, what can only be described as a 6 head, and have buck teeth. Did you really think that a girl that looks like you had a chance with a guy like Rick? You were practically begging for someone to come and take him from you. Why would you say all that about me? What is the matter with you, Tiffany? I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm the prettier sister out of the two of us, and I think people realized that ever since high school. I was the one dating all the athletes in our school. I'm the one who got regularly scouted by modeling agencies, so of course I would end up with a man as good-looking as me. Did you really think that an ugly little fatty like you could really ever hope to achieve the same? It was obvious you were just into Rick for his money. That isn't true. I wanted to marry Rick because I thought he loved me. I didn't care what his job was. Well, there you go. Now you're just proving that you don't know how the game is played. But of course, an ugly girl like you would have such a naive view of marriage. You just need to realize that you're outclassed by people like Rick and I, and you should know your place. Why are you talking to me like this? Isn't it enough that you stole my fiancé from me? Besides, do you have any idea how hard I try to look pretty when I go out? Well, that's just it. You could have all the makeup in the world, but there's no point in trying to doll up a pig like you. I don't care how hard you think you worked, it was all for naught. How dare you say that to me when every time I would buy makeup or something nice or an accessory, you would always steal it from me? I swear I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. Yes, you do. You would come into my room, insult me, and say that a girl like me doesn't deserve nice things. You always did that to me, so that's why I only started buying myself cheap products that I knew you wouldn't want to steal. Well, it's like I said, there was no point in you using anything nice anyways. It was just obvious that those things would be better suited on me. And you can't really be mad at me for reminding you of your place when you forgot it. Just like your engagement with Rick. You certainly do like to shoot for the stars, but that's not where little piggies like you belong. Tiffany, please, you really don't need to talk to me like that. You're being so cruel. Well, this is what you get for thinking you ever had a chance with a guy like Rick. Obviously, someone as handsome and successful as him could only be with a girl as pretty as me. Did you really think that with all the options in front of him to choose from, he was going to go with someone like you? I still don't get why he would want to be with you. Doesn't he realize what a mess you are upstairs? I may not be as pretty as you, but at least I don't have nearly as many issues, and at least I actually have a brain. And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? I mean that it's true, you were dating earlier than I was, but that's also because I was busy studying. Meanwhile, you would ditch class and stay out late over at boys' houses without mom and dad knowing. And just why would some beautiful person like me waste my time studying? I don't need to debase myself like that. If I wanted to succeed in life, all I have to do is find a rich man willing to marry me. So you're saying the difference between you and I is that I understand the value in working for what's mine? Do you really think that not studying was a smart move for you? I remember you falling asleep at your desk almost every night that I would be sneaking out to have fun. And thanks to that, I was able to go to one of the top universities in the country and land a job at an excelled firm. And now thanks to that, I'm already working in upper management and earning a ton. Do you know anyone else our age who can afford a condo like the one I live in? Even Rick's parents thought it was impressive. Oh, so you think that just because you worked hard to get a paying job that means anything? Well, I'm not going to play your little pity party. The only reason you need to work hard is because you could never do what I do. And just what even is it that you do? Well, I used my looks to steal your fiancé away from you, for one, so I suppose you should have been studying dating books instead. All it took was a little smile and some of my girlish charm, and now I'm getting married and you're not. You're really an idiot if you think you're going to get away with this, Tiffany. Well, I guess that means that you let yourself get beat by an idiot then, huh? You really are just pathetic. Do you know that? I have been trying all my life to help you learn how to know your place and live within your means. But for whatever reason, you always think you deserve more just because you work for it. Well, how did that turn out for you? Because I'm going to marry Rick, and you're not. Well, fine then. You can have him. Wait, what? What do you mean? I mean that I'm actually happy. I never thought I was going to get to escape like this, but here we are. So good luck taking care of Rick and his parents. Take care of them? What are you even talking about right now? And why are you so happy that I stole your rich fiancé from you? You should be getting mad at me. I mean, now you're not going to get married, and I'm never going to have to work a day in my life. You think you're marrying a rich man, but you are dead wrong. So consider this my way of expressing pity for you. But the truth is that Rick is very, very poor. Poor? Tammy, literally what are you even saying? He's the CFO for a Fortune 500 company. There's no way that he's poor. That's impossible. I suppose all you needed to hear was that he was a CFO and you filled in all the blanks yourself. But Rick only works for his parents' company, whose best days were about 2 decades ago. Now the only thing the company has left to hold on to is its name. What are you saying? I don't understand what you're getting at. Well, I used to work for an investment firm, as you know, and while there, I was once shown Rick's family file, and, well, it wasn't good. They had been taking out loans repeatedly for years and haven't been able to pay them back. Sounds like the whole family is in a lot of trouble financially. Wait, No, this can't be right at all. This doesn't make any sense. If they're borrowing money, then are you trying to tell me that his family is in debt? That's right. And it's not just your typical business debt. They have run their finances deep into the red by this point. That can't be right. Well, it's true. Of course, many businesses take on some debt as startup capital, but this is much different than that. I don't understand. How could it get that bad for them? I thought that his family was rich. Well, apparently they got into some kind of trade war with another firm from a different country, and it was basically a race to the bottom for both of them. So they ended up making far less in sales and needed to take more loans to make up the difference. Are you kidding me? That's a terrible idea. I agree, and I was really shocked when I first heard that this was happening. In fact, Rick was just telling me this after he came to visit us at home. Well, he didn't tell me, but I happened to overhear him talking about this with his parents over the phone. I heard him talking about how even though I was ugly, I had the money they needed. He thought that I was going to use my income to take care of all his family. You mean that even his parents were in on this? That's right. I asked him if his family was having financial trouble, and that's when he came forward to me about all the debt. But I guess he didn't mention any of that to you when you two agreed to get married. But you should know that he's just looking for someone to leech off of. But I had no idea about any of the debt at all, I swear. Well, then you would better go and cancel your engagement to him now, don't you think? Hold on a second, this is all part of your plan, isn't it? You're trying to scare me away from being with Rick so that you can try and take him back from me. Well, you had me going for a while, I'll admit, but your trick isn't going to work on me. It's really not a trick, but whatever. It's your life and you can do what you want with it.
Tammy, you have to help me. I went to tell my parents that I was going to marry your sister, and they were furious with me. They called me an idiot for throwing away all the money you have just to marry your prettier sister, but I had no idea that all our finances were that bad.
Are you stupid or something? You are next in line to take over the family business, and you're telling me you had no idea how bad the situation really was?
I mean, I knew that we were in a little bit of trouble, but I figured it was nothing that I couldn't fix with a little hard work. I just thought my parents were being overdramatic about all this.
Wow, and you're literally the CFO of your parents' company. It is your job to handle all the financial matters.
I know, but is it really true that your sister never even went to college?
That's right. She was too busy sleeping around with all her boyfriends to care about studying at all. And I think with the job she has now, she barely brings in over $10,000 a year.
Her salary is that low.
I don't know if you call money from part-time jobs a salary, but yes, basically. My sister always told herself that working was beneath her and that she was just waiting for the right rich man to come and save her from having to do so.
But I was marrying her because I thought we could live off of her income for a while.
Wow. Well, it sounds to me like you both are more perfect for each other than either of you originally thought. Anyways, now that you and my sister both realize and we're not getting married anymore, I really don't see why I need to be involved in any more of this. You two are both awful people, and I'm glad that you've found each other. Now please leave me alone and never, ever talk to me again. In the end, it took them getting married for Tiffany to finally realize the mess that she had stepped into. About a week after their marriage, Rick officially took over his family's business and understood just how much debt they were all in. As rumors of the company's finances and poor management began to spread, more and more staff ended up quitting. And I hear that the company is really on its last legs these days. As for my sister, with no schooling or work experience, she began to work at a bar serving the kind of men she thought Rick was originally. As for Rick, he began his second job bagging groceries at a supermarket. I am sure that never in a million years did CFO Rick ever think he would be working two jobs like this. Both Rick and Tiffany thought that the other was just what they were looking for, and it turned out that it was just the opposite. All I know is that I'm glad I dodged that bullet and know enough about my family and Rick's to know that I never want anything to do with them again. As for me, I continued with my job and kept climbing the corporate ladder. I still have my nice condo where I live by myself as I ease my way back into the dating pool. After I cut off my sister, I began to buy the nice products that I had avoided in the past, and I already have a date lined up for next week. If I had known that all my life was missing was cutting out my sister from it, I would have done it a long time ago.